Officially, we are 4 weeks to the day away from the 2025 NFL Draft. I cannot wait. 4 more weeks, 28 days, 27 more shows until we get to Green. We're not going to Green Bay. We're going to Tampa Bay. We're going to the Sunshine State because ain't nobody got time to go to Green Bay, Wisconsin for some NFL draft. We're going to cover this draft from Tampa Bay. I'm going to be down there with Alex Dunlap from Roster Watch, the player profiler crew. We're going to cover that thing. Pick 1 to pick 2, 5, 6, every single pick all the way through for you, the people. That'll probably be over at Player Profiler and Roster Watch. But I'm going to keep you guys tapped in every single day here on the Draft Rankings Show. So I appreciate y'all for doing just that, tapping in, tuning in. The subscribers are skyrocketing. We're getting more and more new viewers, and the percentage is going south. The percentage of people that watch the show and don't subscribe is going south. So more people that are watching are subscribing. That number, like 2 weeks ago, was 96% of people weren't subscribed. It's now down to 88%. So I appreciate you guys. It's moving slow, but I do appreciate you guys clicking that button. So enough of that. Today, we're going to be talking about some of the most overlooked rookies in this year's NFL draft. We're not going to be able to get through everybody because, like I said, it's a 10-minute show every single day, but we're going to get through a few. We got 8 minutes. Let's get into it. We got to start out first and foremost at the quarterback position. Again, these are all not going to be, first couple round players. These are going to be all over the board, scatter shooting here. Not a ton of analysis, but we're going to give you enough analysis. Seth Hennigan at quarterback from Memphis. He's currently projected at pick 293 on Mock Draft Database, after the likes of Max Brosman from Minnesota, Graham Mertz from Florida, Curtis Rourke from Indiana, Seth Hennigan from Memphis. I've talked about it on a couple of other shows. This is a guy that won 10 games in back-to-back seasons for Memphis. He's the only quarterback to accomplish that feat in Memphis history. He's a guy that played 4 years at Memphis, 10 plus games, 11 plus games, 13 games played in consecutive the last 3 seasons. I can't do math in my head, but that's 50 games played, 104 touchdowns, 31 picks, just a 1.7 interception percentage on 1,791 pass attempts. This guy's got over 14,000 passing yards. Seth Hennigan was at the Senior Bowl this year, had a great Senior Bowl for the expectation. People wanted to compare and contrast and converse all the other quarterbacks that were there, but Seth Hennigan didn't get any of the conversation. He's a guy that is currently projected 7th round undrafted. I think he goes somewhere on day 3 and gets an opportunity. If I was to pick a sleeper at the quarterback position, it would be Seth Hennigan. Let's go to the running back position. This is a dense group, so I could go on and on about 150 names here, but I'm going to go with the guy from the Shrine Bowl, Ja'Cory Krosky-Merritt. Ja'Cory Krosky-Merritt, you guys remember me talking about him coming out of the Shrine Bowl? This is a guy that came in. He ran a 4.45 at his pro day this last week, 17 bench reps, 41.5-inch vertical, 10'4" in the broad jump. Ja'Cory Krosky-Merritt he did not get the combine invite, and I think he's going to be just fine. He played 1 game this year in week 1 against Northern Arizona. This guy's got fresh legs. He's 23 years old. He's 5'11", 205 pounds. Ja'Cory Krosky-Merritt, day 3 selection with an opportunity to grow when the season begins. Let's go to receiver really quickly. We'll scroll right there. Isaac Tesla from Arkansas, currently projected pick 237 overall by Mock Draft Database. Isaac Tesla is a guy that came in and was a freak show at the 2025 NFL Combine. It's a guy that I didn't really have my eyes on at all when the Combine approached us. He's a guy that's moved the most within my rankings. He's at wide receiver 20 right now. Alex has him at wide receiver 14 over at Roster Watch. I thought I had him higher than that. I'm going to move him as we're talking. This is a very rare situation you're going to catch me in right now. I'm going to move Isaac Tesla as we talk right now because my round grade is higher on Isaac Tesla. I'm going to move Tesla above Juice Wells, above Ricky White, above Keandre Lambert-Smith, right behind Kyle Williams at wide receiver 16. There you go. From Arkansas, SEC guy, power 5 guy, ran a 4.43 at 6'2", almost 6'3", 212 pounds. Now let's go to the offense. Let's go. Actually, we can go to tight end. We'll stop at tight end really quickly. Tight end, Jalen Conyers, Texas Tech. Know the name. Offensive line. We got to go scroll, 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 scroll on down. You're not quite there yet. Carson Vincent. Again, if you haven't talked about Carson Vincent, you're going to hear me continue to talk about Carson Vincent. This guy's draft capital is projected at 222. This is not a player that belongs in the seventh round of these conversations. Carson Vincent from Alabama A&M is a guy we saw, and I hear the conversations, a top competition. Alabama. He went to the Senior Bowl and played against all the Power 5 guys, all the SEC guys. He's got over 35 career. He's got like, was it 40, 44, 40, 49 career starts at Alabama A&M at 6'7", 314 pounds, 34.5-inch arms. Carson Vincent, to me, belongs on day 2. He'll end up in round 4 as a projection pick here. Carson Vincent is a complete maniacal offensive tackle, and I love every bit about him. I mean, if guys like Trevor Penning and Titus Howard and who's my guy from Cole Strange, if these guys can get drafted in round 1, why can't Carson Vincent go in the first 100 picks? You tell me, and you can't tell me a story that makes a lot of sense to me, because it doesn't make any sense why Carson Vincent wouldn't go by then. Defensive line. We'll scroll on down. There's a couple of my favorite names here. Ahmad Hassananen from Boise State. Thor Griffith from Louisville is interesting. Eric Gregory from Arkansas. There's a lot of guys down here that I think pack a punch on the defensive line group. But if I had to pick one that's being completely overshadowed right now, it's probably going to be TJ Sanders from South Carolina. I think TJ Sanders has a great motor, and in a very deep defensive line group, I think TJ Sanders can rise above and potentially even get into round 2. I know he's listed at 297 pounds, which is what he came in at for the NFL Combine. He's a guy that belongs in the first 3 rounds. I think he'll be in the first 3 rounds. When you look at the mock draft database right now, he's in conjunction with Alfred Collins, Deion Walker, Shamar Turner. He's a top 80 pick projected. But TJ Sanders, a guy that I believe should be ahead of Tyleik Williams and Alfred Collins and into the top 50 conversation rather than the top 80 conversation. Let's go to edge. My favorite position, probably in totality of the entire sport to look at, is edge. Number of names here. Kyle Kennard, a guy that was a Super Saiyan monster in the SEC this last year. Dylan Stewart, the 5-star freshman, got a lot of the conversation at South Carolina. Kyle Kennard was the leader of that defense. Ashton Galate from Louisville was a guy that he was a problem. When you turn the tape on for Ashton Galate at Louisville, it was him that was popping off the screen. I know he's a little undersized. Again, I get it. I get the question marks and all that stuff. But when you have pure pass rushing abilities and talents, I think that comes through. 6'3", 264 for Galate. Not a natural run stopper, but for me, he's a natural pass rusher. Did not run 36.5-inch vertical, 10-foot broad jump. This guy had 14.5 TFLs in 2023, 10 TFLs this past year. First team all ACC, second team all ACC. He's able to get the job done. He's got a violent hand chop. He's a good pass rusher, is Ashton Galate. All right, we got time for one more. Let's make this one special. Let's do a kick. Just kidding. We're not going to do a kicker. Let's do a cornerback. At cornerback, one of the sleepers, I guess, or a guy that hasn't gotten any buzz at all, Elijah Huzzie. Elijah Huzzie, a cornerback, a nickelback from North Carolina. You often see nickelbacks not really get the bump that some of these guys do late in drafts. We saw Jahdae Barron. He was a nickelback a year ago for Texas, transitioned outside. The draft capital follows suit. Elijah Huzzie, 5'10", 193 from North Carolina, has it all. He's locked down in the slot. He's a lockdown nickel, tackling ability. He's got jaws. He'll talk smack to you. He's very smooth. This guy dominated at the Shrine Bowl next to Kobe Bryant. Kobe Bryant, C-O-B-E-E. Kobe Bryant, that's how you spell that one. So a lot of names there. We'll continue to talk about it. If you want me to talk about somebody, feature somebody on the show, drop the comment below here on YouTube. I appreciate y'all. Love y'all. Until next time, this is the Draft Drinking Show. Appreciate y'all. See you.